All right. Greetings. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good day. Haki Ami here, Success Scholar,
Hello.
Teaching Artist Institute. It's an honor and pleasure to join you all this morning and wherever you are, or it's morning here in the U.S., Wednesday. Uh, so we're excited about this opportunity. We have on the line joining us are some amazing Mandela Fellows. So we are excited to have this conversation with many of them. So we appreciate the opportunity for you. But I'm going to pass this on to Sister Preska. And, she can, come on and introduce. And Victoria, you can introduce you all have a good network of teammates here that have joined us from different parts of the world, perhaps. So we are excited to have you all. And I'll just, kind of add on and I'll sort of moderate and get people on when they chime back in. So I just want to say welcome to you all. And I hope you all enjoyed your time in the U.S. And we want to stay connected to you as on behalf of Kim Poole and the Teaching Artists Institute. So, Sister Preska and Victoria, I'll let you all say a little bit about your colleagues here and talk about the Mandela Fellowship.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haki. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Priskanda. I am from Cote d'Ivoire. I am also a Mandela Washington alumni of this year, 2023. I am a teacher. I'm also a singer. My work is that I use music to teach English. And today I'm very happy. It's a privilege for me to have you on this live stream. And I'm going to give the floor to each of you to introduce yourself, to give your name, your country, your organization, and what made you apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So we start by my dear Victoria. Victoria, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Priska. And thank you, Haki, for organizing this and for getting us all together. Yeah, everyone else, you're most welcome, and I'm glad to see you all. So my name is Victoria Merabakini. I'm from Uganda, and I applied to the Mandela Washington Fellowship under the Civic Leadership Engagement, and I was placed at UMBC. And personally, I'm a visual artist by profession. I do fashion and interior designing. And also, I am the executive director and co-founder of Streetlights Uganda, a non-profit organization that uses art to get children off the streets and also empowers mothers with the entrepreneurship skills so that they're able to take care of their children. For me, applying for the Mandela Washington Fellowship was when someone saw the work that I do and they believed in it, and they believed that this would be the right place for me to be, and they believed that I would be I would gain a lot from being in this place and being part of the fellowship. So I would like to say that with no doubt they were really right, because I have gotten to witness what it's like to be an alumni, what it's like to be in the fellowship, to meet people from different countries. So personally, that was it for me. That's how I got into applying for the fellowship. And I also had the desire to improve my leadership skills, to see how to go about, because I was running my two businesses, that's the fashion and interior design, and then I was doing the NGO work. And I just wanted to know how can I be able to manage all these things, because they are things that I love doing, I enjoy doing them. And I just had to figure out how am I going to do them. And some people made me feel like I was doing so much and it was wrong for me to do that. But I was encouraged by this gentleman that if I applied for the fellowship, it would help show me that I wasn't wrong to do all this that I was doing, and that there was always a way to have everything connect. And I'm glad I've been able to see that come through.
Thank you, Victoria. And we are glad to meet you too. We are glad to seeing you in this interview. All right, we'll continue with our sister from Ghana, Saudatu Muhammad. You have the floor. Yes.
Hi.
She unmuted. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. So my name is Saudatu, but first of all, I want to say thank you so much for putting this together. So my name is Saudatu. I am from Ghana. I run a nonprofit organization called Life Again. And the organization is all about addressing issues, barriers to girls' education so that we can have more girls in school, and issues such as teenage pregnancy and child marriage. We do give sexual reproductive health education to adolescent boys and girls as measures to prevent teenage pregnancy, but we also go beyond that to provide scholarships to already pregnant girls and teen mothers to go back to school. We also do advocacies around fighting against early marriage. And so basically that's what Life Again does. And why I applied for the fellowship, I think it's because I wanted to grow, I wanted to become better. As a young person who is running a nonprofit organization, I needed to improve on my leadership skills. I needed to expand my networks. And I felt the Mandela Washington Fellowship was the perfect platform for me to get all of that, to become a better person. And for me, that was it for me. And also, I had friends who were alumni members, and seeing how they've been able to grow both personally and professionally after the fellowship, for me, that was something I wanted for myself. And that was the reason why I applied for the fellowship. And I can say that indeed, I got what why I applied. I got what I wanted. So yeah, for me, that was it.
All right. Thank you, Muhammad. Now let's go to our sister, Florence Roberts. Florence Roberts, are you still there? Florence Roberts? All right. Okay, let's move on. We have our dear Sibulele that is online. You have the floor, my brother.
Hi everyone. Hi Priska. Thanks for the invite. So I didn't get the question. Can you repeat? What am I answering? Why did I apply for?
Yes, you introduce yourself. You give the name of your organization, your country, and why. What made you apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship?
Okay, thank you. So my name is Sibulele from South Africa. I work as an educator and I also run a school in an underserved community. We provide low cost private education to 150 young Black girls, and our focus is on STEM education and also Montessori philosophy. So we're trying to bring creativity, innovation, and just getting the girls to be more confident and to change the way they think and to be more critical thinkers and to have a safe space where they can flourish. And the reason I applied for this fellowship, I was taking a chance actually. I didn't even think I would get in. I was taking a chance and I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for me as a leader to grow and also to network with other young Africans and just to see how things are done in a different context, which is America, and just to get that template and see how I can apply it to myself as a leader that's growing and also to my organization to help it to grow and become better. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sibulele. Okay. I saw Noela. Noela, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, you have the floor, my dear. You introduce yourself, you give your name, your country, your organization, and what made you apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship.
Okay, thank you very much, Priska. It's good
You're
to see
welcome.
you and to see everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to actually share. I'm Dr. Ngoya Manuela. I'm from Cameroon. I'm a medical doctor and the founder of Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Nuela, which is an organization with aim to ensure that women receive early and equal access to health services, especially during pregnancy. So we actually help women follow up their pregnancies. If you cannot do it, we help you do it. We help educate women about everything concerning pregnancy, thus decreasing maternal and neonatal mortality. So why did I apply for this fellowship? First thing is it's a prestigious fellowship, I must say. And in order to, when you start something like an organization, many people might not believe in what you're doing. But getting to the US, which is one of, I can say, the best countries, or like ranked as the best country in the world, attending their US universities, meeting top leaders, meeting bigger organizations that do the same thing as you do. Therefore, you're going to learn better ways in doing things and create an impact more in your country. So I was looking for opportunities on how to improve myself and improve on the work and create more impact in my community. So that's why I joined the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Thank you very much.
Wow, great, great, great. Thank you. David Okilia. Is David online?
Yes, I'm online. Thank you very much
All right,
for
David, you
the
have the
invitation.
floor.
My name is David Okiroy. I am from Uganda. I'm a
Mhm.
physician. I work for the government at the subnational level at the district hospital. My work is to provide curative and preventive services to the community. The community is generally a rural community, but apart from that, I run two initiatives that are focused, one on eliminating malaria in my community. I work with community health workers. We call them VSTs in my country. So I train them to improve their skills on how to make a diagnosis for malaria. They look out for children with fever, and then they can also run a rapid diagnostic test and then give appropriate medication. The second one is a simulation center that I founded in 2021 at the hospital. This simulation center uses latest mannequins to train maternity care providers, the midwives. I do that to empower them and improve their skills on how to manage complications that arise from childbirth that include but not limited to neonatal resuscitation, PPS, what we call bleeding when the mother starts to bleed. I realized that rural health workers usually undergo what I can say uh, knowledge decay. Like with time, because they don't use these skills, with time they tend to decay. The skills tend to reduce. So that's why I founded this so that I can empower them to improve their skills. And also in my country generally, the maternal mortality rate is very high, and also the perinatal mortality rate is very high. So these were things that I thought would be very, very important. So coming to the Mandela Hospital Fellowship, the reason as to why I think is big for me is I can use one word that's like benchmarking. It was something that I wanted to come to the US, copy the good practices here in terms of health. So I was very impressed with that because I was placed at Howard University and I witnessed one of the biggest simulation centers that uses high fidelity mannequins to train medical doctors as well as the nurses at Howard University. So I was also lucky that I got to a PDE, and currently I'm working at Jefferson Health Plans it's still in the US. I'm at Philadelphia, and it's an experience that I think each one and every one of us would have loved to have it because you learn so many things, you meet so many people, and I believe the things I've learned here will definitely translate to high quality healthcare in my country. So I want to say thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much, Victoria.
Yeah.
I might drop off at some point because I am actually at work and I just had to squeeze time to get out and be here. Thank you.
Thank you, dear David. We are also glad to meet you and to have you on this live stream. All right, let's go back to our sister Florence Robert. Florence Robert, are you all still online? Florence? Okay. Is Ali Baroun online? All right, but I have somebody online, a dear sister from Togo. She also going to introduce herself. Nadej, you talk about your organization. You give us your name, which country you're from, and what made you apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. You have the floor, Nadej.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And
Good
thank you,
morning.
Pascal, for this. I hope you can hear me. I think I have a technical
Yes,
problem. Can you hear me?
yes, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, great. So thank you for this surprising introduction. My name is Nadej Abire Bumoge from Togo. Um, I am a lawyer by training, and I run a non-profit that works to promote climate education in Togo. So I'm a gender and a climate advocate. But basically, I work with different non-profit organizations, but I'm focused on young girls' menstrual hygiene education. So I train young girls on their how to take care of their menstrual health and also provide some reusable sanitary pad. So I'm very glad to be part of this cohort. I mean the Mandela Washington Fellowship 2023 cohort. So what made me apply? Actually, I've applied for the RLC. So being an alumni of Yali RLC and knowing all the advantages of the fellowship, I mean, I had so many opportunities just after the RLC fellowship, and that's how I learned about the program. That was in 2020. So just after that, I couldn't wait actually, you know, to apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship because I knew I was going to meet many people from different backgrounds and from different countries, and I was going to learn a lot from them. So that's what made me apply for this fellowship actually. Thank you.
All right, thank you to you. Now let's move on to the next step. You guys, you're going to talk about your leadership institute and also what was your experience during this institute. Okay, so let's start with you again, Victoria.
Okay. Um, I was at UMBC. Thank you, Priska. Sorry.
Welcome.
And I'm so glad to get to meet the other fellows who I was not with in the same university and also didn't get the chance to meet during the summit. I'm so glad to meet you all. I'm so glad to meet the doctor and the women advocating for other women. Thank you so much for the great work. Okirio, thank you. And my brother from South Africa. So, yeah, me and Saudatu actually were from the same university, UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And it was a great experience being at this university. We were the first Mandela Washington Fellows that were hosted by this university, first of all. And so to us, this was a whole experience because a lot of things was the first time. And even us ourselves, it was our first time coming to the US, some of us, most of us. And it was our first time being Mandela Washington Fellows. Yes, the fellowship does not get to have more than once applications, but everything was the first time. So we basically, the first time getting there, it felt, we literally didn't know each other. No one knew anybody. among the fellows. You didn't know yourselves. And personally, from my country, I was the only one at the university. So I didn't have anyone from my country there, which partly I feel was an advantage because I didn't get to have like a clique that was created because I'm from a country with this person. So it gave me an opportunity to meet new people and to form new relationships. And I must say, there have been solid relationships that have been created through that. I got to hear from these different fellows and hear about their work. So to me, the university experience was a place where I got to realize I was not alone doing what I'm doing. And as much as the beneficiaries we were working on were all different at some point, and some of us shared the same beneficiaries at some point, I feel that just being part of this and being at the same university was also a reminder that back at home in Africa, there are other people that are just like you, that are standing in the gap, that are trying to change the world, that are trying to inspire people. And this was an encouragement because there are moments that I felt like things were so much on my plate. Just being a leader for a team, there's a lot that is expected from you as a team, from the team. The team expects a lot from you, and sometimes it's too much for you to handle. Sometimes you don't know what to do. But just being with these people that share the same values, that share the same things, that go through the similar things, was a great time for us to learn from each other. It was a great time for us to know that you're not alone, that you have someone you can reach out to and be like, how did you handle this? And how would you handle this? Because there are some questions you're not going to ask the people you're leading. You're not going to, however much, like for instance, my organization, the people that I lead with are, that I work with are in my, we were in the same university, we are friends, you know. So as much as we are friends, there are some leadership decisions that I can't just basically always go to them. Like even when you feel overwhelmed by the work, you can't go to them and be like, what do I do now, and all that. So just having a team of other leaders that you know you can always reach out to, their call away and be like, you know what, Saudatu, I'm going through this, how do I handle this? That's what I feel the experience at the university built for me. And also the university faculty that hosted us, that handled the fellowship. I feel they did a great job to connect us to the different people, to align us to the different programs, and have us meet different people that would be of impact to our journey, and people that we would share with our work. We did a lot of pitching. Oh my God. Networking events, and you have to pitch, and we got to a point whereby people memorized everyone's name, country, and organization. So sometimes I would even get up to speak and someone would be like, street lights. So that was like the thing they got for my organization. One of the fellows called Raul started naming it like street lights. So each time you stand up, everyone knows, I am this person from Uganda, street lights, and like, so it was interesting that we got to know much about ourselves in a short time, and also got to learn pitching, learn how to talk about your organization and how to be confident about it, about speaking to people and sharing these things. So it was really great to me, and I'm really glad. If I've left out anything, I believe Saudatu will say it. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. That was an amazing experience. Wow, wow. All right, let's give the floor to our Saudatu Muhammad. Saudatu Muhammad, what was your experience and what is the name of your institute?
Hi again. So like Victoria rightly said, we were both in the same institute, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And I think for me, I would just have to, because most of the things I had to say, like, has already been said by Victoria. Um, I mean, we're both in the same institute, but for me, the best experience for me was the fact that I got to meet 24 other fellows from Africa who are doing amazing things in their countries. For me, that was the best. I mean, that's the highlight for me.
Mhm.
And like I said, one of the reason my reason for applying was to grow my networks. And for me, meeting those 24 people for me, like, did it for me. Because meeting people who very young but had big dreams, had big vision for Africa. And for me, I felt that these are people like, this is the future of Africa. This is the future of Africa that we've always been talking about. And for me, it was so inspirational. It encouraged me, motivated me to let me know that, like, yes, you can. I mean, whatever vision that you have about Africa is possible, it's achievable. And meeting people who were from different countries, previously strangers, they've become friends now to sisters, brothers, and for me, it was just, I don't know, for me it was just the highlight. And then also, another experience I really enjoyed about my institute was the fact that people were interested to hear about the work you do. Like Victoria rightly mentioned, people were really interested. And for me, it meant so much for me because the work I do back home, when you talk to people about supporting teenage mothers to go back to school, people are like, you're just encouraging girls to become pregnant. Like, it's not something they're interested in. But for the first time, I find myself in a room where people are really interested in what I do. They see the vision that I see, and for me, that was a good feeling. It was like a motivator for me to want to continue the work I do. And then another thing was the fact that the people in Baltimore were super nice. I don't know if the fellowship, I don't know if the fellowship gave them, maybe trained them on how to like receive us. I don't know, but like everybody was super nice. And before going to the US, the perception I in particular had about people in US are the fact that they are too individualistic. They don't really care about other people, and it's just about themselves. And some people are racist. That was a perception, but coming to Baltimore and see how receptive the people were, it kind of changed that perception, like that perception for me. Everybody was nice, welcoming, and wanting to help. And we also got to, like she said, we were able to go, like, we had networking events where we met people like from the nonprofit organization sector in Baltimore, who gave us great insights about the nonprofit organization space in the US. And that has helped some of us. So, for example, one of the issues I had before going to the US was fundraising, and meeting those nonprofit organizations, getting to listen to hear their experiences on how they raise funds, for me, gave me like great ideas on how to raise funds to continue my organization and to keep things going on. In summary, it was, I would say it was one of the best experiences in my life so far. And I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Thank you to
You're
the US
welcome.
government for such a great opportunity.
You're welcome, Muhammad. Thank you. Thank you for sharing
Thank you
your
for sharing your story. Oh yeah, I just want to say thanks David for joining us. I think he has to leave. If anybody else has to depart early, just let us know so we can just say thank you and probably put your contact information out there. So just wanted to put that out there if that's okay, Priska. If but thanks David. He's from Uganda, right? No, wait a minute. Is that
Yes.
David from Uganda? Yes. Right. Okay. I sent him the link just so he'll have it. I just want to let everybody know he has to step away. But if anybody else has to leave, we just want to, just get you up real fast and, so you can say something and go about. But as you are, you can continue, Priska.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Haki.
So thank you, Muhammad, for sharing your great experience with us. It is wonderful. It was wonderful what you said. Now let's go to Sibulele. Talk to us about your institute, leadership, your great experience that you had there. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Priska. So I was in Delaware, University of Delaware, and I was with Priska and Nadesh. We also met Dr. Noella earlier on. We were also in the same cohort, as well as Ali. I don't think he came through, but anyway, we were together. And for me, I think the greatest thing that came out of the institute, more than the training and the Americans that we met and all of that, is each other, meeting each other as Africans. And I think it's very unfortunate that you have to go to another continent to meet. But definitely meeting each other was just a great blessing. And when we had our country presentations, each person presenting their own country, there was a trend in terms of the challenges that we all have. I think everyone presented had poverty as a challenge in their country. Everyone presented had corruption as well as a challenge in their country. So these are the issues that we are facing as young Africans, and I think it needs to spark a debate among us about what kind of Africa do we want as young Africans, and what are we willing to do to achieve that Africa. And I think now that we have met and we've connected, moving forward, we need to stay connected and come up with ways to deal with the challenges that face our continent. I don't think there would have been much change in our continent if people like Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Lumumba sat back and did nothing. I think the reason we have political independence is because of people like them who took action. So the onus now is on us to change the things that need to be changed in our continent. So for me, definitely meeting you, Priska and Nadesh, and everyone else I met at Delaware, that was a great experience. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sibulele. Nadesh, would you please share with us your experience at the University of Delaware? You have the floor.
Um, Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity once again. Thank you for hosting us. I think this is a very tough question for me. Like, it's a very hard question when it comes to talk about my experiences in the US, and especially in my university, because I mean, I've learned so much, and there is so much to say that I don't even know where to start from. And I think, like, with the not knowing where to start from, you don't even know what to say, when it comes to sharing your experiences. Because this experience is very unique, and I think every youth of Africa has to experience this fellowship.
Of course.
And as Sibulele was saying, last time I was invited at VOA, Voice of America, is an American TV, I guess, and I was telling them that it's it's actually a pity, to move from your continent to another continent to meet young people that are doing the same job that you are doing, to meet young people that you're supposed to build Africa with, to meet young people that are committed in something, to meet young people that you have the same goal with. It's sad, but actually, this is the best thing. I mean, this fellowship is the best thing that can happen in, African youth life, because we are going not only to meet our brothers and sisters from Africa, but we are also learning from another culture, American culture. We've met people from different background. We've been into some uh, community. We've been volunteering, and we went through different organizations, different people from different background, and we've learned a lot from them. Knowing somebody that actually does not know you, I explain myself. I've learned more about American culture than they have learned about my culture. The less I can share with them is not enough for them to know what is going on in Africa. Meaning, if we have some strategies, to develop Africa, Now we've come here and then learn another strategy to develop our country and our continent. And like I was saying, this is the best thing that can happen in someone's life. And overall, I really love and appreciate Dr. Tracy. And this sentence is, I mean, the most remarkable sentence that I've learned from her. And she said, young leaders, you've made so many people, you have been into so many networking sessions. But the most important thing is the network you have built among yourself, among the 25%, among the 24 young leader, new young leader that you met here. Please stay connected. And she's right. This is the most biggest family that I've built in my life. And I'm sure I can never go to South Africa and sleep on the street. No. I know when I go to South Africa, no matter what city, Sibulele will love to come and meet me. Sibulele will love to host me. I mean, and what what can be, I mean, more amazing than that? And I can't tell more about Cote d'Ivoire. I can't tell more about Ghana. Everywhere in Africa I go, I have a home. I have a place to stay. And overall, we are starting some different projects together. Like for example, I don't know, Julius is not here. We are planning to start a project together with my sisters and brothers from DRC, Congo, Chad, and everywhere. I mean, this is an incredible experience. And again, I don't know what to say, but it was really nice, being at University of Delaware, sharing 6 weeks of experiences with 24 amazing leaders, our graduate assistants, and of course, the members of our staff. It was not easy to meet 700 people at the summit, and of course, the networking was not easy at all because you can't move from different persons. But then the 25 people, the 25 family that you have built, I think is the sustainable one and is the best. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Nadej. You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing your experience. Okay, let me share a little bit my experience. Wow, the Mandela Washington Fellowship at the University of Delaware was one of the greatest experience I ever had in my life. This trip was the first trip outside my country for me, and it was also the first international program I have attended. When I got there and I met people, you guys, leaders, you were like used to these international programs, speaking with people easily, talking about your work, your job, networking with people, connecting with people. But I was afraid. It was my first time. I was afraid. But when the time was going on, I get to know each of you. And I saw that you were very cool people, very kind, attentionate, passionate about your work, your job here in Africa. I got to meet Nadej, a very funny and special person. It was a very great experience. And I've learned also a lot of skills like public speaking during the pitch competition, during the Ignite competition. I am a kind of introvert person. Nadej was my roommate, so she can testify. I am a kind of introvert person, and it's difficult for me to speak in front of people. But through the Ignite Talk, the pitch, all these things, this process helped me to get out of my comfort zone and to speak with people, to give my opinions, my ideas, what I think, what I observed. And it was very good and very interesting because it helped me grow in my leadership, and also the team of UD. That was a great team. Talking about Tracy, Mr. Colin, Dr. Nike, all the graduate students, these people helped me get confidence in me because they were always with us. Dr. Jessica, all these people, they were always with us, sharing, taking care of us, asking, do you need something? Do you need some help? Priska and Dr. Tracy, she was so lovely. My guy, she came to my open house even last Sunday. I was crying. I didn't know that she would come. I sent her the email, but she came up from Delaware to Baltimore here. She came. This woman is a very special person. And also you guys, all the Mandela Fellows from UD, we became a family. We started sharing everything. We were crying together. We were encouraging each other. We were supporting each other. We were like a family. And this is an experience that I will never forget in my life. Never, ever. Through this experience, I get to know governors, congresswomen, people in business, entrepreneurship, all these people. Like, I was exposed to the business world. I was exposed to the global world that is becoming. And really, this is an experience that I will never forget. And this experience that I had here, I want my brothers in Cote d'Ivoire to have this experience. And trust me, I will go and make the promotion of Mandela Washington Fellowship in my country so that my people will apply. I don't want to be the only person to take advantage of that. I want all the Ivorians, all the Africans to get involved in this program because it's a program that changed life. This program has changed my life. It has changed my life. And I know that I will never be the same. I will never be the same. I got out of my comfort zone and I will still going to meet the world, to fight for a better Africa, for a better Cote d'Ivoire, in order to change all these bad things that are happening in my country. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sibulele. Thank you, Nadesh. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you, Victoria, for the great job you are doing in your country. Continue fighting. Continue working. And this work that you are doing, you will see the results. You will see the results. Thank you. Guys, I'm so proud and I'm becoming emotional. Nadesh knows me. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you for everything. Now, let's move on. How inspirational was what you learned from the United States? How inspirational was this experience for you that when you will go back, you want to apply all the things that you learned? What is the inspiration that you will take from the United States? Let's start by women, by ladies. Sorry, Sibulele. Okay, Muhammad, you have the floor.
So for me, I would say one thing I took from the US, or one thing I took from this entire fellowship, is the need for collaboration. I mean, you can never overstate that. Collaborations, togetherness, working together, bringing everybody on board. At times, usually when you start something and you're doing it alone, you see it to be very big. But when you begin to bring people on board and when you start unpacking stuff, you see that it's not really so much of a work. And that was one of the things the fellowship emphasized on, especially on the CLC, and that we're doing, mostly talking about leadership, talking about focusing on our strengths. And for me, what I found out that from the assessment was that I am more of a people person. I mean, I'm like an includer. I like to bring people together. Can you believe that, like, all of my 5 strengths was all about building relationships? I didn't know that. Even though, like, naturally I just like to have people around me, but I didn't know, like, it was like strength. And all 5 of my strengths was just on relationship building. So for me, I want to focus more on that, bringing people together to push forward the cause that I've already started in Ghana, ensuring that every girl have access to education because it is a right and it's not a privilege, neither is it a gift, it is a right. And girls should also enjoy that right. So yeah, for me it's collaboration and going to Preska, Simulele. I'm going to bring everybody. I'm going to be reaching out to everybody for us to collaborate because, like Simulele said, the problems in Africa are, I mean, literally the same. So why don't we form like a network where we could work together to address these issues? Because I remember anytime I introduce myself to somebody and tell the person the work I do, they're like, "Oh yeah, there's teenage pregnancy in my country as well. Oh yeah, there's child marriage in my country as well. Why don't we form a global network where we could fight these issues together?" So for me, it's collaborations. Thank
Good.
you for asking that.
Yeah, you're welcome, my dear. Good. All right, Victoria, what inspired you in the United States that you will take and go back in your country to implement it?
It's actually very interesting. Thank you, Priska. It's a very interesting question because quite similar like Saudatu, or more so, it's the fellowship. The most outstanding part in the fellowship was the alumni from Africa. So it is interesting that we had to get out of home or our continent to be able to notice that we are actually a huge spark or a mark that can create a difference just as us. So I realized that it was beyond the United States. I realized that it was beyond just where we were, but then back at home, what we can do. So my experience here, it still stands out that the fellows was outstanding, one of the most outstanding things to experience at the in the US. However, I would also want to say that the hospitality and the love that I've seen from the people that I've met during my stay here at USA has been amazing. First of all, I would like to start by recognizing TAI, Teaching Artists Institute, and their art in residency space. So when I came at first, I had the idea of, okay, there's an extended stay. Where am I going to stay? What am I going to do? And everyone is like, even when I told my friends when the time had reached for me to stay, I was like, okay, guys, I'm staying. And they're like, everyone was like, where are you staying? How are you going to be? I had no idea. But to be honest, I met one of the people that works with the TAI, Teaching Artists Institute, and she welcomed me to a camp. And when I went to this camp, she told me, Victoria, you're an artist. You should come stay at our residency. And she offered me a stay at the residency as an international artist. And up to, even right now, I'm actually seated at the residency. And so to me, just this showed me how much the people of there are people here in America that are very hospitable, that are very loving, and that are willing to stand with you. They do not even know you. First of all, these people don't even know me. But we got to meet here, and then we realize they have the same work they're doing back in different countries in Africa, Uganda being one of them. So I've gotten to learn a lot from Kim. I've been able to tap into Priska's PDE classes and learn a couple of things. We've even been able to have an event. We hosted an event here on Sunday where me and Priska were able to share with the community, connect with the community on what we do back at home, and to also hear from them how they feel back here and what they are doing back here. And not only that, I also met this family in Virginia that has been hosting me. And so I've been up and down. I stay in Virginia and also here in Baltimore. So to me, one of these things that I would like to take back home is the fact that let us learn to have like the love for each other, even as fellows, because if we do have that connection, if we can build a strong bond as fellows, we are going to be able to change so much. We all have amazing skills. There are things that Priska is good at that I'm not good at. I may want to talk to the children that I train, and I may want to reach out to them, and probably they need someone to reach out to them through music. And I'll be able to hit up Priska and be like, Priska, let's do this concert. I want to reach out to these children. I want to spread this. I want to advocate for this. And her voice could be that can really sing to their hearts. You know, I would want to reach out, and probably Saudato has something to teach me from the women's experience. And so, like, because she has worked with women, she understands the women and how to handle these things, even as I also work with them, but she understands it on a different way, in a different perspective. There are lots of things to learn from each other. So that's one of the things I'd like to also take home with me, like encouraging collaboration, networking, and networking and collaboration, because it's through networking that I met the fellows, and it's also through networking that I've been able to have my good stay here during my extended period. Thank you so much. Back to you, Priska.
You are welcome. Thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you. Now I saw Noella. Noella, are you still there? Noella? All right, she's gone. Okay, Mr. Sibulele, can you share with us what is the inspiration that we took from the United States and take it back to your
Hello?
country?
Sorry.
Oh, she's on. Sibulele, please wait a couple of minutes. Noella.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, we were talking about what inspired us here during our stay in the United States, that we want to take it back to our country to implement it in our work.
Yeah, okay. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
One thing I would like to say, like, I don't know, she was emphasizing on networking. I think that's the most important thing. You should not miss out anybody who is going there, because learning the collaborations, learning your leadership skills, creating impact is all about collaboration. It's all about working with one another. So the one thing that I learned, and the thing that actually I'm taking back, is because during the fellowship we had courses on leadership. That's the common leadership curriculum, where we are taught about our strengths and how to use them to collaborate with others. So that's one of the best course that we had, because if you're not able to communicate with other people, if you're not able to work in harmony with other people, you're not going to succeed. So I think that in anything I want to do, whatever I'm doing, whatever impact I'm creating, is about that connection, that partnership, that communication, that excellent communication, that way to resolve maybe any conflict, that way knowing that anybody has their own problem or has the strength. You might be weak in something, you use the other person's own strength, and you compensate, and at the end you have a positive result. So it's all about using your network properly. That's the best thing I can say I'm taking back home, and I've taken it and I'm using it already. So please, if you have connections, use them, make maximum use of it. And I can just want to say, through my connection, even I've been able to have a grant for my organization, and I'm starting the project next month. So you can
Wow.
see how it is. That's actually the impact it's really creating.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So don't joke with your network. Thank you.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. That's wonderful. Whoa, that's a great testimony. Wow, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with us. Oh, thank you. Now, Sibulele, you have the floor.
Thank you, Priska. For me, I think I don't know if you guys remember the outing we had to the National Constitutional Center in Philadelphia to celebrate the 4th of July, and where we saw the guy demonstrating the history of America, how it evolved over the years. For me, I think that was the most touching thing, to see how America tells a story, how it represents itself, because oftentimes in Africa, we don't tell our stories. Our stories are told by other people. We have other people telling us who we are and what our challenges and so on. So I think I was inspired by that. I was like, no, when I go back home, I need to have a project where I tell the story of Africa from our perspective. Who are we, where we come from, what happened to us, where we are going, and what we want for the future. And I think it's about time we invest in storytelling. We invest in so that the next generation know who we are. We can't have the next generation reading about us from other people. They need to learn about who we are from what we tell them. So for me, that was the inspiration.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I remember this drama that we saw in Philadelphia that day. It was wonderful. We, the people. You remember this sentence? Okay, now Nadesh, you have the floor.
Well, thank you for the question. Well, I think one thing that I've learned that is going to follow me everywhere I go, I mean, every day in my life, is the way these American people work. We knew before coming that with the Americans, time is money. But when we came, I mean, we came with, our daily behavior, okay? So when you say, let's meet at 5, you'll be there at 6. But then, the very first day we came here, I remember when we were going to visit the governor, like I think we were 10 minutes late. And this sentence of Dr. Nike, guys, this is the first and the last time. I was like, wow, okay. So this is America. Welcome to America. And actually, it's going to follow me like every step of my life. Time is indeed money. And being on time, I mean, it will not only help you to coordinate yourself very well, but actually, imagine you are having a session, you are going to present, I don't know, a session, and then the session is supposed to start at 5 and you come at 4. That means you have all this time from 4 to 5 to get prepared, to coordinate yourself very well, and then to coordinate your stress. So, I mean, this is the very first thing that I've learned from Americans. And the second thing is during my PDE, I I mean, it's an incredible experience, right? But then I've learned digital security. And when I came, that was the first thing that I was asked to learn. And I thought, oh, this is, I mean, I was telling myself this is not important because I think I know everything about digital security. Hey, but my first email I got was a phishing email. And I was like, okay, so I have to learn, I have to learn more about this thing because I know nothing actually. And I went through the modules. And just yesterday, I've saved someone from a phishing email, and I was like, okay, so that's great. And also, I had the chance to learn um, from one of our colleagues, this public participation. Honestly, I thought I knew everything about public participation because when it comes to youth participation in political issues, everywhere, we are the one that takes space in our country. So I thought I knew all the tools, when it comes to public participation. But then when I went through the session, I was like, okay, so this is something new that I've learned and that I'm going to implement. And I was telling them, just when I go back home, I'm organizing a conference on public participation because it's very important for us youth to think and rethink about, our role in the society, our engagement, and how actually, we can be more engaged in the development of our community and, of course, our country. And I don't want to talk about, this military coup that are going on in Africa. We are the youth, we need to take space and yeah. And one more thing, last time we went to VOA, and when I came back, I was telling my friend that I went to VOA this morning. And he was like, wait, do you know the chance you had? Like for me, it's very common because I'm used to going to national TVs, back home. But then he was like, do you know the chance you've had? You are done with national TVs and now you went to an American TV. Charlie, do you know what it means? And I was like, oh Actually, this is true. Come on, I'm going to tell this story on LinkedIn. I'm going to tell this story on Facebook and everywhere on my social medias. And one more thing, tell your story because you are the only one that can tell more and very good about your own story. And if you don't know how to tell your story, Charlie, no one is going to tell it for you, and you are going to lose every opportunity. Again, communicate. I've seen Dr. Noella communicating every day. I was like, this lady, what is she doing actually?
She's very active.
But actually, now I understand. It's very important to tell about our daily work. Hey, anyway, I'm going to stop here. I hope I've shared something useful.
Thank you. It is very useful what you said. Okay, let me share quickly what.
Priska,
Yeah,
sorry. Can I just add something? Something I thought is really important for me to add, if you don't
yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
So for me, another thing I took from the Americans is for me their sense of leadership. So in my institute, for example, the people who were leading the departments who were like implementing the whole thing, you couldn't tell if you didn't know. You couldn't tell this is the boss and like this is like maybe the subordinate. You couldn't tell. Everybody was just all about getting the work done, and you would see the boss doing works that in Africa you think is for an intern. For example, we have this guy, Ryan. Ryan is like the boss, but like he was doing literally everything from going to get food for us, from organizing buses. Like he was doing literally like things that you think, no, a boss shouldn't be doing this.
Even cooking for us.
And then we went to meet with the governor and also the Secretary of State. And so after that meeting, we had to go to a different building to meet with the mayor of the city, Annapolis, and it was raining. So, time is important for them. I mean, for Africa, so let's wait for the rain to come, like for the rain to stop. We had to like walk through the rain to the other building to meet with the mayor because the time. And what the one interesting thing was the deputy secretary of state was in the rain with us, directing us to that building. Like he was in seat, he was soaked in, and he was directing us to this building. I was like, what in Africa? Which country in Africa would you find like somebody in that position in the rain with you just to show you direction? And for me, that was like, I'm like, so from them, leadership from what thing I took that time, I really is I'm like, leadership for them is all about getting the work done, serving people, influencing people. It's not really about the position, which we hold so, I mean, high esteem and even titles. Anybody you meet, they're like, call me by my first name. And this most of them are like people with 2 PhDs. And you wouldn't know if they don't tell you. Some of them are billionaires. If they don't tell you, wouldn't know. And I think that is something we as young leaders in Africa, that is something we really need to learn in order to become better leaders than what our leaders are doing right now. Because indeed, leadership is all about influence, about getting people to do the work. It's not really about the position. Yeah, thank you so much again.
You're welcome, Muhammad. Oh, I just want to let you know that Noella is signing out. She has some obligations, so she's saying goodbye. All right. I want to share my little inspiration that I want to take back home. First of all, discipline. Secondly, patriotism. And thirdly, time. Americans say if you come late, you are disrespectful. And these people, they are very disciplined. You will see that when you go to buy something, they will line up. Nobody will come in front of the other to say, no, I came before you. No, I came before you. No, 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 no. In Africa, we used to see these kind of things. But here, no. They will line up in discipline and patriotism. Why? All around Delaware, in Newark, Wilmington, all these cities, you will see that in front of every house the flag of America. Everybody, every American has the flag in front of the house. Wow, this was so amazing. I was impressed. I said, no, once I get back to Cote d'Ivoire, I will put the flag of my country in front of my house. They are very patriot. This is this thing that I will take back home, really. Okay, thank you. Let's move on in our session. So guys, now what talents and skills do you feel you've gained during this experience? We start by Muhammad.
You always start with me.
What talent and
Okay.
skills that you gained during this experience?
Skills. I would say I've become a better speaker. Like you, I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk so much. Even at home, I have 3 boys. At times, I just keep quiet and just watch them do their things. I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I don't like to talk. But this experience it has showed me the importance of talking and sharing your story and just letting people know about the work you do. Because if you don't communicate, then people wouldn't know what you are doing or what like the challenges that you have in your countries. And also, like, having to do a lot of pitching, having to tell a lot of people about the work I do, and also having to take part in the Ignite talk and all of that, and having the feedback. People give you feedback. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not maybe like I'm not a bad speaker. Like, after all. And for me, that is like a motivation for me to take up more speaking spaces to become a better speaker. So that is that. And then another thing I would say is I really want to improve on my leadership skills and focusing more on strengths. Most of the time, as leaders, if things don't go as you expected, we get disappointed. And at times, as humans, we tend to focus on what people do not have rather than what they have. And the CLC has taught me to focus on people's strengths and how to maximize that. So for me, another thing, I want to work more on amplifying the strengths of my team so that we'll be able to create more impact.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Victoria.
Yeah. Thank you once again. And yeah, personally, one of the skills that I've gained, there are quite a number of them. One is communication, in the perspective of being able to know that communication should be done based on time. Like, I'm meaning communication based on time. If you know you have something you're going to do, communicate to your team, communicate to the people that are involved in that. Make sure you communicate on time about it, and make sure that you follow up on your communication with them. That's something we learned when we were working on the event we were preparing here. We had to call people, we had to follow up on them. So I feel this is one of the things I've learned, to like make communications. When you take people's business cards, don't just have them to keep them, but follow up on them. Most of us, I believe everyone here, you had business cards that you got from the fellowship. There are people whose numbers you took. The first thing is communicating to them, reaching out, hey, I'm this person, and looking at what do you want to do with them? How do you want to involve with them? It may be even just saying thank you for getting time to talk to me, or thank you for presenting on this and this day. So communicating in terms of building relationships, and also communicating in terms of your work with the people that you work with, making sure that people can know exactly what you want, because sometimes we assume that the people we are leading, the people we are working with, know what we expect from them, but then we've not communicated it. Yeah, sometimes the team needs a reminder. So sometimes you just don't need to assume, but it's better to always communicate in everything. Then the other thing is advocacy. I used to look at more of advocacy as being like all political and all that, but I got to understand that there are many ways of advocating for different things, and in whatever we do, there is a need for advocacy. Even with the different fields that we work with, like even if I'm working with street children, there's a need to advocate for them as well. There's a need to go or beyond just talking about, like beyond just working with them, but also advocating for the issues that they face, and also using different mediums of advocacy, because we met this team of kids that were using art for advocacy, and they were using posters and videos. So this was a better way of advocating. And also I learned also listening. In most times we do not listen, we speak more than we listen, and it's a very, very bad thing. Like we find ourselves speaking more and just thinking more of your side and not listening to the other people. So I also got to learn that skill, that sometimes you just need to step back and listen before you communicate. And whenever someone is communicating, take time to listen to them. Then I also learned persistence. Like whatever you're doing, be persistent, because when you hear of the testimonies of some of the organizations here, these are people that have been doing what they do, and they started small. I look at people like OpenWorks. When you look at different organizations here, they started small. We went with Saudato to this space of the women. There's a women's center at the university. They told us they started in a small room that is actually like, it's like 5 feet by 5 feet. And when we reached there, they were in a very big space. So we got to realize that you just need to be persistent and start from where you are. You don't need something big for you to go wherever you like. You don't need to start big. And in most cases in Africa, we're waiting for funds, we're waiting for donors. If you want to start classes, you want to start in a very big institute, you want to have a very big school. But even these people that have big schools started from very small spaces. So if you start with what you have, you can always get what you want. So just keep looking at the bigger picture. Where am I right now? And how can I start with what I have right now to get to where I want to be? So to me, that's something that I looking at taking back home and seeing that we push onto that. And yeah, there are many other things, but due to time, I'll stop there.
Okay, thank you very much. That was great. So I learned through all you said, persistency, no, listening, communication, persistence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Our dear Nadesh, can you share with us your skill and talent that you learned that helped
Yeah.
you a lot?
Thank you once again. Well, I think for all francophones, the very first thing that we have improved, or the very first skill that we have learned more, is English. We have improved our English speaking, and I mean, this is really useful and helpful, because coming here in America, you have to double your efforts, because we are used to African people, I mean, speaking English, but here you have to be very I don't know, to increase your ability of listening, to be able to get their words, because if it's not easy for you to understand your African people, how are you going to understand the
The
American
Americans.
guys speaking? Well, this is the first thing that I've improved, and this is the first skill that I've gained. And after that, again, digital communication. Well, I have a friend that is a brain manager, and she always tell me, one day you will need, my services, and then you will pay for it. And I always say, no, don't worry, I don't need branding or whatever. But now I've learned that it's very important to communicate, on your work and everything, your daily work and everything you do. And I mean, what is more important is to know how to communicate, how to talk about your work, because you're not just going to talk about it, but talk about it in a way that is going to be helpful, in a way that you're going to gain something, just after your post on social media. And also, yeah, this ability of listening, because staying there and listening to someone or somebody, within 1 hour or even more than 1 hour, it's not easy for some of us. But then here, like, you are really obliged to sit down and listen to that person's speaking. And again, for American people, if you're not good at listening, you may not be able to understand what they are saying. So that's one other thing that I've learned and that I've improved. And I've find out my way. Going back home, I know that I'm going to focus on this thing, maybe focus on this advocacy or this work that I'm doing. This is how I want to see myself in 5 years. This is where I want to be in 2 years. This is the goal that I want to achieve. So I finally, find out, I mean, a way, something to focus on when I go back home. And again, I've increased my self confidence. She talked about persistence and determination. Well, I think this is one of the things that I've learned. And again, um, I've learned how to be patient, because I'm not that kind of person that is patient. But here, it's not easy for me actually to be far from my family for more than 2 months. But this is me here. It's it's like 10 weeks and I'm still here. So this is, I mean, patient is one of the things that I've developed, in this country, and is going to follow me, every day of my life. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Nadej. Thank you. Sibulele left. He signed out because he has some obligations. He has to go somewhere. So sorry, guys. Yeah. What skills I've learned too, briefly. You talked about, you guys, you talked about determination, communication. American people, they like communication. At any time, they want you to talk. They want you to talk about who you are, about your work, about what you want to do, what is your objective, everything. They want you to talk, to give your opinion, your point of view, your ideas, everything that is going on. They want you to talk. Whereas, as I was saying, I'm a very introvert person. I don't used to talk like this. My husband used to tell me that you should talk. You don't talk, you should go to people, meet them, talk with them. I'm not somebody that goes like straightly on the spot to people and talk. But during this fellowship, I've learned to go to people, to talk with them, to talk about my work, what I do in my country, my organization, everything about me, my objective, the reason why I applied for this program. And this pitch competition and Ignite Talk that we had in our institute helped me a lot. Because I remember during the institute, during the session that we had, at the beginning, I was talking, but after I stopped talking because I saw the way that Anglophones were talking. I said, whoa, I should improve my English. And this intimidated me to raise my voice and to talk, to give my point of view. But guess what? I've improved my English, because in Cote d'Ivoire, which is a French-speaking country, you will not see many people speaking English in the streets. Once you get out of your classroom with your student, even your students, the word that they know is just good morning, how are you? I'm good. Good afternoon. Yes, may I go out, madam? All these small expressions, this fundamental, the basis of English. So when you get out of the classroom or you get out of the university, the first language you are faced to, if it's not your mother tongue, it is French. So coming in the United States and speaking with Anglophone African countries, people and the American, you need to make a lot of efforts. Whereas Anglophone people, they don't have to make this effort that you have to make. You have to make double effort, not only to understand your mates, your classmates, and to understand the American. So you have to improve your listening skills. Sometimes they are speaking and you don't get them, but they are like, okay, you see, you got it. And when you ask them to take it again, they are like, they do their face like, for them it's not normal. For them, you have to speak, you have to speak English. So when you ask them again to retake the sentence, to take it again, they are like surprised or like deceived. So we had to make double effort to understand our classmates first and to understand the Americans. So I conclude that I have improved my English. Not only have improved my English and my communication skills, that I got out of my comfort zone and I reached people to talk to them, to tell them about my work, to tell them about my objective, my ambition, the reason why I came here. And these are these skills that I've got: public speaking, communicating with people, networking, creating connections. So these are the skills that I got here in the United States during this experience. Thank you. So I guess that we are now Victoria, Mohamed, and Nadej. Now, can you tell me about the perceptions of your people when you told them that you are leaving the country, you were going to the United States for this program? What was the perception of your people, or the people of your organization, or your family, all these people that you know, your acquaintances? What was their perception of this program that you were coming to attend? And the question that follows is that, are you proud of you now? After this fellowship, are you proud of you now? So first of all, what was the perception of your people in your country, people from your organization or your parents or your friends, all the people that you know? What was the perception toward this program that you are coming to attend? And are you now proud of you? Let's start with Victoria.
Wow. Thank you, Priska. So to me, when I was coming for the fellowship, first of all, one thing we all need to know, the Mandela Washington Fellowship is a very, very prestigious fellowship, especially back at home, back in Africa. I don't know about other countries, I believe so, but in my country, it's a prestigious fellowship, and one of the fellowships that many people have tried to apply a number of times, have not gotten through. There are people we met that had applied over 7 times, others had applied like 4 times, 3 times, and didn't go through. So just the fact that I went through to the interview phase was a great thing to both me and my family when I shared with them, and my friends, and even the people I work with. So that alone was also a great opportunity. We felt like, yeah, wow, this is big, this is good. At least you've gotten to that point. So even when I got through and I was called that I'm a fellow, it was that, I mean, that I'm going to be joining the fellowship was a very, very great opportunity to us. I felt the people back at home were very, very happy. My family was so happy. They were so excited. They helped even to do the countdown. I remember my big sister, she even had a whole list and a calendar that she had made of what I should be doing when and what I should finish when, because I work with her. She also used to help and follow up with me. You need to hand over this by this time. They were very, very helpful. My team that I work with, Streetlights Uganda, was very, very helpful. They were so involved in making sure that I left behind everything and put as in place, all that they needed. There was good coordination. There was good support. To be honest with you, from my end, there was a lot of support from the family and from also my friends and the people that I work with. And this was very, like, it was good, but it also felt like now the expectation is high. It's raised the bar, like there's high expectation from you now, that because already people are doing this much to make sure that you're living, they're available, they are helping to make sure that things are coordinating, they're offering 200 different things that you have been running so that things can work. So at the end of the day, the expectations are also high from you. So when I came here, I had to make sure that I do not fail them, I don't let them down, and make use of every opportunity that I get here. And I must say that, yes, I am proud of myself for where I am right now. I am proud of the fact that I've been able to be part of this fellowship, and not only just the fellowship, but the fact that I've met friends that have become family. I've met friends in the fellowship that have become family. The fellows themselves have become family. The people that I've met here have stood with me, and they have helped me realize my strengths in ways I did not know. I didn't know I could even do poetry. So from the first session we had, I learned how to do the first session of poems we had. I learned how to do poetry. I recited my first poem. I was called on, I think now, 2 different platforms to share my poem, and that meant a lot to me. So I've also been able to see the Clifton class that we had to discover our strengths helped me realize so much of who I am, and know that, because it said I'm an includer, and this I would see myself do things, but I didn't know really that that is who I was. So it was really good to have that awareness. So I must say that I'm proud to have been part of the fellowship. It has helped me discover things about me that I really didn't know that existed, and there have really been helpful relationships. And I can see what going forward, I'm not going to be the same. My life will not be the same, because there are things I'm going to do back at home. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself. That's one of the things we are advised, and it's right, because it's overwhelming when you think about it. Just the thought of going back home is overwhelming on how you're going to adjust with everything. However, also the fact that I have learned stuff that I would love to implement. So I feel that every step in life, from every lesson you have, it's a lesson to grow. And with, like, learning never stops. So I feel from the lessons I've taken this time around, I can't wait to share them with the people back at home. So yes, thank you so much.
You are very welcome, my dear. Yes, Nadej. Can you
Thank
tell us?
you.
Yeah.
At least from the beginning to now, you didn't call me Nadege. I'm proud of that.
Nadej, please wait. I just want to notify that our dear Saudatu from Ghana, she's signing out. Yes, she has another meeting. She's leaving. Okay. So you can continue.
Okay. Thank you. Well, as Victoria said, um, we all of us know that this is indeed a prestigious program. So when you notify that you are coming to the United States, everybody, I mean, and especially for the Mandela Fellowship, everybody is proud, happy. And of course, some of them are, I mean, it's obvious they will invite because they would love to, have the same opportunity as you. And for some of us that have applied, I mean, this is my first time applying, and this is the right moment. I mean, I turned 21 when I was applying, and I got when I got the fellowship, like I just turned 22. So I mean, this is something I should be proud of. Um, being, at this stage of my life and having these different experiences, I must say, I mean, this is the best thing that could happen in my life. But then, talking about our family, our operation, and everything, I remember when we got the final email for this thing, for the fellowship. We have started, I mean, after the PDO, after the orientation at the US Embassy, and when we went for the visa interview. We were planning to have a social media, let's say, communication on the fellows. And I told them I don't want to see my pictures anywhere. Like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm traveling, and I don't want anybody to know. I mean, anybody except if I'm telling them myself to know that I'm traveling. That's only because you know how Africa is, and we know how we want to hide informations, from our people, especially when we are traveling. And we are not traveling to, I mean, any other country, but we are coming to United States. So we want to make sure I take the plan, right? I want to make sure I really reach United States before telling the whole population that I'm traveling. And then when it comes to my own family, like even my father, I told him 3 days before the trip that I'm going somewhere that I've finally received the ticket. That's not because I was hiding the information, but that's only because I want to make sure that I'm traveling. Because as we know, we are in Africa and anything can happen. Until now, people are just telling me, please, Nadesh, don't come back, stay there. Because they think when you come to America, like you have got the paradise, the heaven, what many people are waiting for. So why are you going back to Africa? I just laugh, I just smile and tell you, don't worry, I'm coming back. Because I came here for a purpose and I'm going back, for a purpose. So first, my family is very proud. My mom is proud, but till now, they expect me to stay in the United States. For what? So I have to tell them the purpose of the fellowship. I have to tell them the goal. I mean, the main goal, my own vision, why I've applied, why I'm here, what is the program, because they don't know. I mean, they know nothing about, exchange programs and all those stuff. And the way the way I communicate with them, maybe they will be able to understand me, and then they will welcome me very good when I go back home. This is the American lady coming back from America. Right? And of course, I am proud of myself, as I said, at the beginning, because this is a very prestigious program, and we are going to tell the whole Togolese people to apply and have the same experience we've had. Well, I don't know if I've answered your questions.
You have answered. You have answered my question. Well, talking about my people, I think my case was the same like yours, Nadej. Nobody knows that I was coming to the United States, unless my father, my sisters, my mother, and my husband. Even when I came here, nobody was aware of that. I didn't put statutes, WhatsApp statute to notify that, yeah, I'm here in the United States. Even when we were at the institute, as I saw people WhatsApp stature with pictures from the institute, pictures of the United States, but me, all through this experience, I didn't post any picture of the United States. So nobody was aware of that. Like she was saying, Africa is very mysterious. So we don't play with these kind of things. Yes, I can say that I'm proud of myself because before coming to the United States, first of all, you have to apply for this program. Once you apply, you need to be selected for the interview at the US Embassy. So once you are selected, you go for the interview. It's a whole process. So from the application to the interview to be finalist and then go to the visa interview and then go to have your visa and come here. It's a whole process and I made it. I came here, I made my institute, I had this great experience. I've learned skills. I've learned a lot of things, American cultures. I got connections, networking, all these things. And I've also applied for the PDE. Many have applied for the PDE. They have not been selected. I have applied for the PDE and I've been selected. this is amazing. I should be proud of me, and I am. Whatever, I am proud of me. And I'm really grateful to God for this opportunity. I'm grateful to the U.S. Embassy, to the U.S. Department of State, to IREX, to the Teaching Artists Institute that is hosting me in the midst. Thank you for everything. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you for this experience, developing experience that I'm having with you. Thank you for all these skills that you are giving me. I am happy. I am grateful to you. I am proud of myself. And my family also is proud of me. My husband is the first one who is proud of me. And really, I think my daughter, she's also proud of me. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for everything. I guess we are at the end of our session. I will give the floor to Mr. Haki. Mr. Haki, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Thank you. Hold on. I'm just getting ready to come and get you so you can handle this business. But yeah, so we appreciate. Let me come on the video. Thank everyone that came on this today, and so we feel honored. We thank you all, and we appreciate the comments and everyone that chimed in. So. But we look forward to continuing this process. It's creating opportunities both here for us as well as for you all. And we desire to continue to do that. So, and thanks Sister Kim Poole for doing the work that she does with you all when I'm not able to be around. So we're grateful for the Teaching Artists Institute. And thanks IREX and all the Jess and Ashley and everyone else that came through on Sunday. So thank you and all for joining us. We appreciate this. This was definitely enlightening to hear you all articulate you all's experience. So it was good for me to, just get some good, well-rounded analysis of the program and its impact totally. So we are looking forward to continuing to work with IREX and, just continue to enhance. So I posted the link for those that desire to join next year or next year, 2024, I believe that's open. And the other, continued partnerships, the extensions, and other related programming. So thank you again, and we look forward to, connecting more. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haki. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
You thought I would forget.
I know, right?
Bye, my dear.
Goodbye, Victoria. It was really
Bye,
nice
dear.
meeting
Nice
you.
meeting you. You're doing your PDE, right?
Yeah, I'm doing my PDE.
Nice meeting you.
All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. We'll see y'all soon.
Hi, Louisa.